Scotland is home to some incredible ridges, such as Anchelic in the Northwest Highlands, the Anach Ridge of Glencoe, and Leach in Torridon. But join me in today's adventure as I tackle one of the finest peaks in Kintail and cross one of the best ridges in Scotland. Well, good morning guys, and welcome to another Munro adventure today. I'm looking forward to this one. So the plan for today is the Forcan Ridge. Now I know a lot of you have been waiting for this one, and I'm really looking forward to this. Lovely path so far up here, gradual, and that continues as well. Maybe just see it goes all the way up to the Bealach over here. The weather is looking promising, that's all I'm going to say about it, as I don't want to jinx it. But yeah, I'll tell you more about this route once I get closer to that ridge. Low flying helicopter right through the glen there. Well, this is looking good so far. Some blue skies, hopefully you can see on the camera. And this is my final two hills in Kintail. Final two Munros, I should say. Save the best till last maybe, I'm hoping so. But I just need good conditions for this today. Now, it doesn't look too promising towards the ridge, which I'll show you just now. So yeah, this is the way to the ridge. I think the ridge is up in here somewhere, but this cloud's definitely going to lift. Well, I hope. But the path is going to take me around here up, and that's where the scrambling will begin. So I've got my helmet with me today. I'm solo, and it's actually easier to mount a camera to the helmet as well to get that footage. So yeah, I'm going to catch up with you guys once I get up onto this ridge. From here you can actually bypass the whole Forcan Ridge if you follow that wall that kind of loops around to the Bealach there. But for me, I'm heading up here. The scrambling started pretty much straight away with some slabby sections to get up on the ridge, so care had to be taken, but as always this camera makes it look a bit steeper than it actually is. That was a nice little warm-up scramble. Some slightly exposed sections to get here, but I can see it. I can see the Forcan Ridge now. That looks pretty scary from down here. The knife edge ridge of the Forcan. Oh, I'm gonna get my helmet on here, tackle this. At least it's clear, I've got a good day, not too breezy. But yeah, if I said I wasn't nervous about this, I'd be lying. Oh, this is pretty narrow already. Straight into it. Doesn't help with things being ever so slightly wet today too. Wow, that is impressive, isn't it? So as you can see, this is a very narrow ridge and not a place to take a slip or a trip, as the consequences would be rather serious. But it was enjoyable at the same time, as there's plenty of bits to hold on to, and yeah, just a great part of the ridge. I'd just like to mention again that this is not as steep as it looks in the video. These 360 cameras have a habit of making it look a little bit worse than it is, but yeah, it is still a narrow section of ridge. Woo! I'm going to try and stick to the ridge as much as possible. This bit is looking narrow. Oh, the exposure feels real there. Oh my. You can probably hear it in my voice, the nerves. Whew. Look at that. That's mega. So things were going really well up to this point, my confidence was high, but things got a little bit more difficult, as you'll see coming up. Awkward boulder, isn't it? So I have to be honest here, I didn't like the route ahead of me. You could go left or right here, and I didn't like the look of either one, so I retreated back a bit to assess my options. A big awkward boulder right here, which I don't really like. I think this rake maybe takes you round and up, so I think I'm going to try that instead. Right, that wasn't fantastic either, but slightly better than hitting that exposed move. I wasn't a fan of it at all. There might be another path down and around there. Oh well, I've made it up and across anyway. Yeah, it does look like there's a way around there. I don't really recommend that, to be fair, but yeah, exposure. Nice wee foothold there for me. So that kind of knocked my confidence a bit, but I'm glad to say that ahead of that was no real difficulties, and the ridge became much more enjoyable too. Okay, so I'm faced with a bit of a dilemma here. I can either go straight up this here, clamber up, or head round there. Now, since I had a little wobble just about 10 minutes ago, I think I'm going to go round. I've lost my confidence that little bit. Just got stuck at a move, so I don't want the same to happen here. It's all about enjoying your day, isn't it? And I've really enjoyed this so far, bar one bit, so yeah, I think I'm going to head round. Wow, what a place this is. Can't be that much further to the top, surely. Whoa. I think that's got to be the top over there, doesn't it? There was actually a fair bit more scrambling to come. This ridge is deceiving. It's not long distance wise, but it takes a while to get across the ridge, as it's quite awkward terrain. Now, this is the part I've read about. There's a 10-metre down climb off the side here, which I'm not going to attempt. As you can see, it's greasy today, so I'm going to take the left hand bypass. The right hand looks a bit more exposed, so yeah, I'm going to swing down this way. I think I'll turn the camera back on once I'm on the other side. No point filming all that. I'll give you a quick look over the edge. You know what, it doesn't actually look too bad, eh? But I think it's maybe very steep down the bottom, so yeah, I'm not going to take the risk. Let's bypass. God, that's going to be a tight squeeze, isn't it? I don't know if I'll squeeze through that. Just. That is soaking wet, look at that. Greasy as anything. Ah, there we go. Not too bad at all. So yeah, here's this 10-metre down climb here. I'm glad I skipped it. It was doing greasy today. That was bad enough. I wouldn't fancy that right hand side one either, so yeah, I definitely recommend going that way. Right, finally time to head on to this Munro. So it felt like I'd been on the ridge for a couple of hours at this point. As I say, the progress was really slow. Some sections required a bit of bum shuffling to get down, but yeah, an enjoyable part of the ridge, and I wasn't too far from the top at this point. Right then, that's me probably just at the end of the ridge now, the final approach to the top of this Munro. I'll tell you what, that took all of my nerves to get over that ridge there. Glad I done it though. So now it's a final little pull up top of the Munro. I'm not sure if it's here or over here. You can actually see the path I'm going to head down after I get to the top, so yeah, I'll catch up with you when I'm there. There it is, the saddle. Boy am I glad to get up here. That was slightly more difficult than I was expecting, if I'm totally honest. There were some moves there that had some serious consequences, but I think I chose the best route for myself, and yeah, I made it to the top. That's the main thing, isn't it? But this is the saddle, and it's 1,010 meters high. I think this is my, I've lost count, 276th Munro. Yeah, I think that's right. So 6 to go from here. Oh, what a view. But there is a layer of cloud. The forecast was actually to be slightly better than this, but yeah, I'll show you the views up here. This is a spectacular summit, this. The saddle with the 5 sisters and the whole of Kintail on show behind me. Brilliant. My legs are tired as I'm using muscles I don't normally use to clamber up here in some weird and wonderful positions. I actually feel like I've spent a day on the Isle of Skye, but yeah, it was fantastic. And I've got views at the top of a Munro, which towards the end of my journey has been pretty rare. It does, however, look a bit dark and gloomy in this direction, but I think the cloud is lifting today, and that is actually my next Munro, Sgurr, I think it's known as. Just a little bit less height than this one, but I think it'll take a little bit of time to get out there. So after quite a bit of time messing about at the top there, taking in these views, I thought this would be a great place to stop for some lunch. But yeah, I couldn't stop for too long as I still had a fair hike ahead of me. Right, that's long enough spent at this summit, I think. Time to get number 277 in the bag. Let's go. Some lovely views of the ridge from this direction. There's actually some people just on the top there too. Okay, that's me at the lowest point now between these two Munros. Lovely little loch here. I could go for a dip, to be honest, it's warm. Look at the blue skies here. First time in a long time I've seen that. But that's the Sisters of Kintail, the brothers over there. The views have opened right up, and look at this. The Forcan looked really impressive what I climbed this morning. You really get a scale from it from down here. But anyway, from here, straight uphill for an out and back actually as well. I've heard bad things about the descent back to the road, but we'll deal with that later. So yeah, but I'll check back in a wee while. That's some view now of the Forcan Ridge. See lots of figures at the top there. I don't think you'll be able to see it on the GoPro, but yeah, I've got a little bit of ascent to the top of this next Munro. Bit of a special one this for me, as this is my final Munro in Kintail. And I think the closest one here is actually Larven, part of my final 5 Munros. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to the top of this one. I'll tell you what, this day is tough. My legs are definitely feeling this. But there it is, my final Munro in Kintail. Yes. Oh, that's hard work getting up here. I think I'll take a seat actually, but this is Sgurr na Sgine, I think it's called. 945 metres high. And I think it means peak of the knife, something along that lines. That's what the first one should be called. What a fantastic viewpoint this is up here. So not waste any time, I'll show you some of the views. Out in this direction is my nemesis, Larven. You might just be able to make out the shape of it with a GoPro. think that's going to be my next Munro. I need to get back up there. It's one of the 5 hills that are remaining. I think it's Ben Buoy, the Ben Cruach and Horseshoe, Lar Ben, and then the plan is to finish on Carmore Jerrig, which I think by the time this video comes out I might have already done, but yeah, what a place this is up here. As I say, the views in every direction here are really impressive, and it just drops straight off the side behind me. I'll hold on to this rail. But out to my right hand side you might be able to see the South Glenshiel Ridge, the 7 Munros. It was a long time ago that I done them, a couple of years at least. Out to the other side is actually the Loch Coich Munros, Glariach, Spidim, Yalach, and I can't remember the name of this closest one. I'll try and put it on the screen. But yeah, Kintail, this area, Glenshiel, hard to beat. The ridges are just brilliant. And I think I've enjoyed every single hill in this area. I think I've had clear tops for most of them. I think maybe the Five Sisters was the only one that I struggled with, but yeah, what a place, and I'm sure this is not the last time I'll be climbing hills here. It's nice to get a bit of a warm day this summer. Eventually, the summer in Scotland's been really poor this year, and it just makes the view so much better with a bit of blue sky, doesn't it? There's back to the Forcan Ridge. There's the route that I took up here. Now the descent route actually goes up and over this conical peak over here. Now I think that's quite a prominent peak from the road, quite an impressive one. In behind that, the Brothers Ridge, the Five Sisters of Kintail, and the Brothers Ridge is just in the middle there. So I think I'll take a well-deserved rest here, taking some views. While sitting at the top here, enjoying these views, it gave me a bit of time to reflect on some of the fantastic days I've had in this area. Whether it be climbing up the Five Sisters of Kintail or getting across the ridges on the Brothers Ridge. It was always a brilliant day out in Kintail. And I think it's finally time to head back down. It's going to be a long, steep descent from here. Not looking forward to it, but hopefully there's some nice views back down to the glen. So yeah, let's go. Okay, now for this descent. I'm not sure why the route from Walk Highlands takes you this way over, is it Focag or Fuchag or something I think it's called? This peak here, this really steep peak. It takes you directly off the side of that, which I think is going to be steep. I think you could maybe just go and bypass the Forcan, go back down here, cut down here, and then rejoin the path and head down there, because that was a nice descent. I can actually see my van. You might just be able to see it just down there. But for some reason I've chosen to take this way. Maybe it's quicker, I'm not too sure, but I'll soon find out. But anyway, I'll give you my review of today once I get back down to Glenshiel. Maybe that's the reason for coming over here. A brilliant view of the Forcan Ridge. So as I said there, this is a very steep, continuous descent, really tough on the knees. And it's just the same gradient the whole way down, which I think doesn't help, but yeah, it's definitely a quick way down from this route. I'll tell you something, that's one of the toughest descents I've ever done, I think. Straight from 900 metres down to the road here. That has got to be one of the longest continuous descents in Scotland. I finally made it. So I better give you my review of today, the Forcan Ridge. Look at this, you can actually see it. I think that's it, just there. That feels like ages ago that I climbed that. It's now about 4:30, so I've actually been on the go for nearly 9 hours. It does estimate that it'll take that long, but it's always that way with scrambles and stuff, isn't it? That it takes a lot longer than it looks on the map. But I'd give that a solid 9 out of 10. Just one hairy moment on it that I wasn't too comfortable. But most of it you can pick your own line. But yeah, there's just one that just makes you make that decision, and there's big consequences if you take a fall. So that's the sort of thing that I don't really like. But I done it, got to the top, got my 2 Munros in the bag safely, and that's the main thing. Some fantastic views. It's got to be up there with one of the finest peaks in Kintail. But the views from the top are actually not the best in Kintail, I would say, but the views onto the ridge and from the ridge, yes, a spectacular mountain. So anyway, I'm absolutely knackered. I'm going to call it a day now, just get across this river. Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't have any poles, maybe that's why my legs are so sore today. I sacrificed them for weight, so maybe that was the wrong decision. But anyway, thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully you'll join me for the final 5 Munros. See you in the next one.